no, for real, this is what happened during and after I was reading this. Welcome to the Subarashiki Hibi review, aka Wonderful Everyday Down the Rabbit Hole, also known as Subahibi, also known as the game that drew every ounce of tears from my tear ducts. Great! I'm going to have to approach this a little differently than what I did with Dragon Quest XI. This is a visual novel, duh, and Dragon Quest was a game. So, there's going to be spoilers this time, because I won't be able to discuss everything unless I go into spoilers. So, if you're planning on reading this in the future, do not look at this review. If you're not, okay, we're going to carry on. There's two stories. One is the short version that's like slice of life and stuff like that. We're going to call this Down the Rabbit Hole 1. The next part is the larger part of the novel. This has the 6 chapters in it. It has Down the Rabbit Hole 2. Okay? I'll be pointing out things of interest and things that particularly affected me. Okay? This left some good emotional scars. Here's the synopsis if you want to quickly have a read of that before I go any further. It might help you understand what I'm talking about. So upon reading this is pretty classic slice of life stuff. The story's being told through Yuki's eyes, so you play as her, and you read through the thoughts that are going through her head and whatnot, and it seemed to, at least at the beginning, and recurs quite a lot, she seems to talk about God and the universe and the world and how big it is and general philosophical questions like that.
やっぱりいい女にはタバコと屋上とそしてひらひら服だわね。
Fun fact, don't say this to an SJW. It doesn't end very well. Eventually, after some rather confusing events, we meet a girl on a rooftop and she seems to be just throwing stuffed dolls on top of the hotel, and then she rants off on one on some very mysterious reason on why she's trying to do it. Her name is Zakuro, and she claims to know who Yuki is, but Yuki does not remember this girl. Yet she deduces that she's from the same school due to her uniform. After some more mysterious and ambiguous statements from Zakuro and Yuki, we now meet the the Wakatsuki sisters. I may have butchered that pronunciation, but I don't care! Kagami is the tsundere abuser who likes to hide her true feelings, and Tsukasa is the slightly responsible, but yet rather confusing, younger one. Yes, the what? Already, we're not even past the first chapter yet, and already it's confusing. Oh, we are just calling the sisters. We're just gonna call them the sisters, okay? They don't have a last name anymore, alright? They forfeited that when their last name became way too hard to pronounce. After some rather convoluted philosophy that aims to prove the existence of God using a triangle, yeah, I know, we eventually get to the purpose of this chapter. What needs to be done for the world girl to be able to return the girl of the sky? And this is the main theme of this chapter. Also, it has something to do with something called the Summer Triangle as well. The stars, the planets, the outer atmosphere. Let's go get a telescope from one of the classes and then see if we can see the Summer Triangle and return the girl from the sky, from the world girl, or something like that. Confusing, right? Well, yeah, honestly, it did take some dedication to kind of keep up with the story at this point. I came here from Doki Doki Literature Club because I wanted something similar to that. What I did was follow the guide on Steam, and there was no spoilers in this one. And I just knew there was more going ahead, so with that in mind, I had to just kind of bear through with this rather slice of life, semi-cringy, although sometimes funny chapter. So, after some light banter and some more tsundere abuse, all 3 friends, the sisters and Zakuro, they all decide to move in with you. And it's essentially a giant sleepover, and they're all going to be living together for a while Yuki's parents are away. Also, this scene happens.
お待たせいたしました。ユキ様。え?
I don't like where this is going.
本当に当たり前ですよ。おじけず、そんなことないわよ。同性なんだから別に気になんかしないわよ。
Stop!
お、
Stop!
お待たせ。
no!
お体をお流ししようと思いましてご一緒のお風呂なので
Oh, hold up. And then to play the king game. Now, if you choose a certain choice here, it affects one of 3 endings. You can either get with Kagami over there, or you can get with Tsukasa, or you just hang with Zakura at the end and have a very strange hospital scene. And so, the Kagami ending and the Tsukasa ending, it's essentially a dating simulator type of ending. As far as story goes at that point, in terms of those 2 arcs, it's just simple slice of life, girly, lesbian, with philosophy and existentialism added in. You could tell there was probably a bit more to it though. But as it stood, if you didn't know any better, that would probably be an okay story at that point, but certainly not satisfactory enough. The Zakura ending is actually the right one, and I like this ending, and you're about to see why. And then you meet a strange girl called Ayana, and she starts talking about the limits of this world and the fictional world and reality, and how the ritual Zakura is doing is actually something else in a different world or something weird. And because I chose the Zakura option earlier when we played the King game, we go on a date with her and we go to the strange hospital room, and then later on, we soon wake up one day and everything's gone totally weird. And then we finally meet her on the rooftop again, get on a train, and Zakura professes that she's entered our world and that we are actually the girl who is the world itself. And she said she was trying to bring us back from the illusional world into the real world. But yet she's happy that she met us again, which indicates that this is actually a fictional world that's probably going on in someone's head. Yuki has more existential crisis, accepts it, and then we are greeted by the words, "Yuki opened her eyes."
Say what?
And that was my actual reaction when I first finished reading this. So what did I think of the first chapter? It had some funny moments. Some moments were really like for intellectuals, and I did struggle with some of this. My specialism is psychology, so I understood some of the sciencey stuff. But when it came to the dense philosophy and stuff like that, like the subject is not the world but is a part of the world or something like that, it just baffled me. I had to really think about it. But I think if this game tried to make you think, it did succeed in doing so. But then other times it was kind of very slice of life, and seemingly it seemed like it was just building up to something and then it didn't. But then some strange stuff happened and it just kept the mystery theme going. I don't like how it suggested that this was a dream though, but however, because I know better, I also know how this sort of ties in with the rest of the story. I didn't want to spend too long on this part, but considering this is what you get when you first buy the Steam version, it makes sense to focus a little bit on what the players are expecting to read in the first bit. It does pick up from here. Oh yeah. But John,
What about what you said earlier in the video?
Also known as the game that drew every ounce of tears from my tear ducts.
oh, that's yet to come. Oh yeah, that's yet to come. Down the Rabbit Hole 2 focuses on Yuki's school life and the mysterious events that happen after a death of a student. And this student is none other than Zakura herself. So forget what you think you know about Down the Rabbit Hole 1, this is where the real narrative begins. At the beginning, Zakura is acting pretty strange with Yuki, and she remembers Yuki, and Yuki barely remembers her. And strange events happen which lead up to her suicide. Ah, and Zakura gave her a kiss. I can't remember the last time I had one of those. Instead of throwing a teddy off the top of the building, it seems that she throws herself and a couple of other people join her in an alleged suicide. And after this, things get a bit weird. Some sort of curse goes around that states that everybody's only got about a week to live before some sort of apocalypse happens. And then this person appears again. Oh, hello! It's Ayana! Again! Why? Well, why do you keep appearing? What? Oh, whatever. Compared to Yuki teleporting all over the bloody place and not remembering who she's met and where the heck she's going, I can accept Ayana's presence for now. Oh, okay, maybe not. Aha, here's the cursed email, and here's Mamiya Takuji, and he's gone nuts, and then he starts ranting about some weird cult thing and tries to get everybody to follow him. Yuki doesn't believe this crap and tries to get to the bottom of it by researching the Webbot project herself and these strange message boards. This is the interesting stuff. I liked reading from here. Yuki sees for herself what the old message boards were like, and it talks about Zakuro supposedly telling everyone that the world's gonna end soon. And, you know, it talks about the webbot project as well, where it tries to predict future events. And it states one event will happen at the end of the week with a threat level of infinity. More weird stuff happens, and all the students seem to be missing, or rather following someone. And you meet Ayana again, hello. And then you start rolling around at the speed of sound. Yuki's mental state is pretty fragile at the moment because of everything that's happening, witnessing deaths and hallucinations and thinking things are going really crazy, man. And in the process of while she's going mad, turns out she finds Kagami very, very dead. Or at least we think so until this scene happens.
鏡をごめんなさい。その人形が何これ。違うんです。さっきまでこれ鏡で。
And our reality is now in question. Did Kagami and Tsukasa actually exist? What's going on here?
This is it. This is the climax. Get ready. Look at this.
Yuki closely works with Ayana, and Ayana seems to be just a passive listener, but then shows her exactly where Takuji is. And Yuki then exposes him for what he is, but unfortunately everybody to expose his plan to is dead. So she is just confronting him. He is pretty much nonchalantly going, yep, you pretty much got it right, but I didn't do anything to you. You're basically just insane. And then the ending makes absolutely no sense because this guy goes weird and then Ayana seems to be broken and Yuki starts talking about life and bang. There you go, that's the end! Oh, okay. I didn't want to spend too long on that one. However, Down the Rabbit Hole 1 and 2 needed quite a bit of time because it kind of frames roughly the main story, to be honest with you. I'm not going to go into that much detail on the other ones. There's just no need to, really. Yes, I know what you're thinking.
John, what on earth? What's the deal with Yuki randomly seeing hallucinations and going crazy? Is she just stressed? And what's the deal with Takuji jumping off the building and killing himself? And then this guy going weird and Ayana just going mad? What's the deal with Takuji? What is this?
Should I give you the spoiler now? Should you give me the spoiler later? I don't know. Here's what I'll do. I'm gonna review it as it is as I go along. So, kind of talk about how it kind of built upon each other, and then the overall effect. I like this a lot better than Down the Rabbit Hole 1. Because it seemed like this was the main bit, and it was. There was suspense, lots of suspense. There was some gore, but it was mostly written, not so much shown. It was really intense. I wasn't expecting this when I first read this, and I'm not gonna lie, man. I love the things that are just completely insane and weird and seemingly make no sense, because my stupid ass will find a way to make sense out of something like this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait until I actually explain what's really happening. In 2 chapters you're going to find out why I'm really sad. The next chapter you'll find what the hell was going on with Takuji. It's not going to be that long. I'm only going to focus on points of interest. If you want me to talk about it in a bit more detail in the future, let me know. Let me know. Okay? Can't remember the last time I had one of those. I don't like where this is going. I look too sad. Okay. Think about Zakuro. Okay.